Good morning, YouTubers. T Square with T Square Talks. Hope everybody's having a great day. Got a great video planned out for you guys today. Today, I want to take a few minutes to do a little bit of recap on the markets, a little bit of talk about what's going on with gold and silver and where I think it's going to go within the next probably 3 weeks. And then I want to talk a little bit about what kinds of silver you should probably be focusing on depending on the stage of the game that you're in. If anybody has any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments because I know there's a lot of newer stackers right now that are starting out that are like, where do I buy silver? What do I buy for silver? What's the best way to go about it? Maybe you found this channel. Maybe someone shared this channel with you. I'm extremely thankful if someone did share this channel with you and that you're subscribed to the channel. So we're going to talk about some of these questions and why I think it's important that if you don't have any, that you at least try to pick up some of the right stuff right now. Not financial advice. It should not be considered as such. I'm not a licensed financial advisor. I'm just telling you guys my opinion on what's going on. With that being said, if you enjoyed today's video, please take a quick minute, hit that thumbs up button for me, hit that subscribe if you're new to the channel, and leave me a comment. Let me know your thoughts. If you are a member of the channel, I thank you very much for your support of the channel. If you'd like to become a channel member, it is only $1.99, and you get a lot of cool perks, including your comments go straight to my phone, so I can make sure that I reply to them, within a day, even though I usually reply to a lot of stuff pretty quick. And on top of that, you get entered in for a really cool silver prize. Every month we do something really cool. In fact, we're going to be doing one probably in the next week, give or take. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We always do it live, some kind of a live event. Moving on now, let's get into the recap. So quick little recap. We got silver trading at roughly $33, $32.99. A lot of people wondering, hey, is this it? Are we going to go to the moon now? A lot of people have been saying silver is getting ready to go higher. We're seeing the COMEX tighten up. A lot of demand for silver and gold right now. And so a lot of people are thinking it's going to go higher. I don't think it's really going to go crazy until probably the beginning of the new month. I think that because we have the Fed meeting coming here shortly on the 18th and the 19th. Generally, the Fed, it seems like the dollar gets perked up a little bit. When the Fed meeting comes, we see the DXY index usually go up. We're sitting right now at 103.6. I would expect to see that go up. If the dollar gets stronger in people's eyes, then generally you see silver and gold take a little bit of a hit. Plus, we are coming to an end of the first financial quarter, which usually you see some sort of a little bit of a beat down. So personally, I want to be prepared for that. However, come the first of the month, I would expect to see some sort of a good jump on silver and gold. One thing, though, to know that I worry about is if they decide to cut interest rates at the Fed meeting here on the 18th and the 19th, generally that really pops silver and gold up. However, it happens on the 18th and the 19th, which gives us still a whole nother week and a half roughly to see some kind of action, try to beat the price back down. Personally, me, though, I've got to say this. I've got a good amount of silver and gold already, so I'm not going to feel pressured by some short-term noise where the price starts jumping up. Generally, the price always is higher on Wednesdays, it seems like, from what we've been seeing if you look back at the charts. So that's what I think is going to happen with the price. Now, moving on real quick, we'll take a quick little recap of a little of everything. We got Bitcoin trading at 83,680. Not really looking good in the last month. The last month it's lost basically 14%. So we're seeing it considerably coming down. However, we've had Michael Saylor make a couple of big purchases on Bitcoin during the last couple dips. And so that did kick it back up. But it's kind of funny how quick it's being sold off, which I find really interesting for the amount of Bitcoin that they've been buying. I mean, we're talking billions of dollars in purchasing, and we're seeing it get sold off real quick. But it's not just Bitcoin. We're seeing the Dow Jones get hit pretty heavily lately. In the last 1 month, it's down 7.5% or 3,360. It may not seem like much, but nobody wants to lose 7.5% of their money in a month. and they especially don't want to lose 11.5% if they're in NASDAQ, because NASDAQ is sitting now at 17,648, down 2,297. So we are seeing it considerably falling, which makes it kind of interesting. Now, like I said a minute ago, if you've been stacking for a while, we're going to talk a little bit about some different kinds of silver that you may want to consider depending on where you are in your stacking journey. Like I said recently, I don't really recommend any specific companies, but I kind of want to talk a little bit about different types of silver to watch for. Now, if you're new to silver stacking, the first thing I would say is don't get caught up with any one company. A lot of people start with one company. They buy, usually they get their spot price deal. Every company does some sort of a deal at spot where you can pick up like 10 ounces of silver at spot price or 1 ounce of gold. It might be a starter pack, a promo pack. It could be a 10-ounce bar at spot, which is something I've seen a lot of the time where they do the 10-ounce bar. I prefer 1 ounce deals. When you see the 1 ounces at spot, that's kind of what I like to target the most. Moving on, let's take a look at some of these. So make sure you're calling up different companies. You're taking advantage of the spot price deals. What kind of silver should you be looking at? Now, if you've been stacking for a while and you've got a lot of ounces under your belt, I mean, 10-ounce bars are clearly a really lower premium of silver. Why? Because it's a 10-ounce bar. It's a lot of money. For some people, I mean, you're talking $340, $330. Well, right now with silver at 33, pretty much, you're going to be looking at about $350 on a 10-ounce bar. Now, some people don't want to spend that much in one hit for a 10-ounce bar, but here's the thing: you can't really break that down. I mean, I guess if you had to ever cut it down, cut it up or something, but generally when these get sold off, they get sold off as a whole. Usually because it's a bigger bar, there's going to be a lower premium. You'll pay less money for a 10-ounce bar per ounce than you will 10 individually 1-ounce bars. A common question I get is, what do I think about like 1-ounce bars? So 1-ounce bars are cool in my personal opinion. Just like with 1-ounce rounds, 1-ounce bars have a lot of cool designs. They're smaller, so you're going to pay a little bit more of a premium on them. Excuse me. So you're going to pay a little bit higher of a premium because they are smaller 1-ounce bars. I apologize. I'm catching a cold and I'm losing my voice a little bit. Another common question I have, rounds or bars. You know, there's not really any difference. If you're stacking a round or a bar, everybody's got their own preferences on this. Me personally, I prefer 1-ounce rounds. I have a lot of 10-ounce bars. I started out with 10-ounce bars because it was the lowest premium, and I wanted to hurry up and get some silver under my belt before stuff started really getting crazy, possibly collapsing. They're always going to tell you there's something big going on, and next week or next month is going to be the month that silver goes to some crazy numbers. But the truth of the matter is, we've been hearing this for a while. We've been hearing that silver was going to go to the moon. We've been hearing that gold's going to go to the moon. Will it? Of course it will. I mean, we're going to see gold and silver continue to climb up. Is it going to happen this week, next month? It takes time. It takes time. You're not going to get rich quick overnight. If you're looking to get rich quick overnight, gold and silver probably ain't going to do it. Will it happen one night? At some point, we will probably see nice jumps. But personally, generally, what you're probably going to see is just slow increases. Now, the increases will probably be more and more each time. You know, you think about what 10% move on silver is at $20 versus a 10% move on silver at $30. You're basically going from $2 to $3. So, okay, so moving on. It doesn't really matter, in my opinion, whether you buy 1-ounce rounds or 1-ounce bars. Obviously, if you're new to stacking, you want lower premium because you got to hurry up and maybe get some under your belt. A common question I have is on 90% silver. I mean, what are my thoughts on 90% silver? So 90% silver is a great opportunity. especially because you can find these at pawn shops. You can find them at coin shops. They're generally cheap, low premium coins. If someone tries to sell them to you and they are at a high premium, for those of you that don't know what premium even means, you have spot price, which is the actual market price. You go online, you type in what is the spot price of silver right now. You're going to see spot price right now is $32.98. Make sure you're careful. Do not ask what is the price of silver, because watch what happens if you do that. What is the silver price right now? See the difference? Look at this. I want to make sure that I show you guys this to make sure new stackers understand. This right here is the futures price, not the current spot price. That's where they think silver is going to be down the road. It could be a day, it could be a week, but they're predicting the future price at $33.44. The actual spot price right now is pretty much $33. So that's the spot price. The premium is anything you pay over that. For those of you that don't know, you want to get your premium as low as possible. Now, 90% silver, if you're buying it off someone and you don't even know how to calculate this stuff yet, I recommend you go on your phone, go to the App Store, download something called Coinflation, and play with that app a little bit. I keep that phone, even though I would consider myself relatively knowledgeable about gold and silver, I keep that app on my phone and I use it as a quick reference all the time. It's called Coinflation. I can pull up the price of a silver dime in a minute. I can pull up the price of a silver nickel in a minute. I was talking to someone today. He got offered a bunch of 35% silver war nickels, and they offered them to him for like $1.20 a piece. And I was like, "Are you kidding me?" I said, "What are they at right now?" And then I knew they were more than $1.20, but I pulled up the app real quick. I clicked on the button for war nickels, 35% silver, and it said $1.87. And I was like, wow, them have really gone up. I haven't really focused on them since I don't really collect them as much now, because you have 35% silver, 65% other metals. And I kind of like more silver. As you start collecting, it does start taking up space. Now, but with 90% silver, that's pretty good because they are small enough. It's kind of like tradable, barterable. You can use it. If you need a dozen eggs from your neighbor, you could maybe give them a couple silver dimes or a silver dime. I've done different stuff for different people for silver coins. I've done work for them and just they've thrown me some silver coins. There's a lot of opportunity to use it for trade, for barter, that type of stuff. And so there's a lot of opportunity. I recommend, if you can pick some silver up in 90% form, constitutional silver. Some people call it 90% silver. Some people call it junk silver. It's hard to call it junk now because there's no such thing as junk. Not at these prices. So, you got to be open to that. A lot of people want to look at 1 gram bars, whether it's 1 gram silver bars, 1 gram gold bars. Personally, I'm not a big fan of 1 gram stuff. I think usually the premiums on this stuff are extremely high. I went somewhere today and the guy had some 1 gram silver bars at $4 a piece. And I was like, that's a little high on the premium. You're talking with 1 gram being roughly worth $1 right now, $1.04 maybe. I wouldn't want to be spending $4 a gram on silver. And I'll show you why real quick. So I think it's... I should know this, but I don't off the top of my head, and someone's going to comment. But I'm going to go with 31 grams roughly times $4. Oh, I did that wrong. My bad. Clear. 31 grams times $4. You're talking $125 an ounce roughly. I would stay away from gram stuff, especially if you're a new stacker. Do I buy gram stuff? I have. I did a video the other day, and it wasn't long before I actually regretted buying that. Small, it was 1 gram of gold, 23 grams of silver. I paid like $180 after I did the math. Was it lower than what a lot of people sell grams for? Yes. But on the flip side of that, it was still a high premium. I basically wasted $60, which means I could have gotten another ounce or two out of the deal. And yes, you can find, I know someone's be like, you ain't getting 2 ounces for $60. If you're lucky, you can find deals. There are people out there that have had silver for a while. There are people out there that don't know what they got for silver. And I'll be honest, if I go to a yard sale, I know I've taken a flack for this. I'm not going to yard sales to educate people. I'm going to yard sales to look for deals. If someone has some silver coins there and it's a good deal, I'm buying it. I ain't gonna sit there and, oh, you should maybe save them. I went to a yard sale one time, or an estate sale one time, and on Sunday, the last day, they said everything was half price. They had 3 gold coins there, and I so wish I had my Sigma back then, because at half price for an ounce of gold, that's a pretty good deal. Especially, yeah, their prices were a little high. Gold at the time was $2,000, and they had them marked at like 3, but then they said half price on Sunday, and I was there first thing Sunday morning, and I was like, well, $1,500 when gold is $2,000, that's a pretty good deal. But now we're up to almost $3,000 gold. So, but I would stay away from 1 gram stuff, whether it be silver, whether it be gold, you know. Same with this silver shot, unless you're getting a super awesome deal. This happens to be gold shot right here. I wanted to get some silver shot way back when. I never bought any. I wished I had. But this stuff, anybody that knows what they're doing could figure out how to make this pretty easy. All they would do is get a silver bar, a gold bar, and propane torch, and hold the bar with pliers or channel locks, whatever, and basically slowly heat it up, and then it drips into a bucket of ice water, and boom, that's what you got. Lastly, a lot of stuff that a lot of companies will, or people in companies will try to sell you PCGS, NGC stuff. Personally, if you're new to stacking, be very careful with this type of stuff. Either know the person you're buying it from and know that you're getting a good deal, or be careful, because a lot of people want to mark this stuff up. You are buying a collectible when you buy this stuff, so if you don't know what you're doing, you could get roped in on something that you're paying a high amount of money for, a piece of plastic essentially. Especially today, because today you see a lot of essentially bullion coins, in my opinion, thrown in a slab with a fancy label and this and that, and you pay high dollar. Do I have a lot of these? Yeah, I pick them up periodically when I can get a good deal on them. I like 1 ounce silver coins in slabs when I can pick them up for $40 or less right now. I started out picking them up higher, but now I've been watching them. It's a little tough to get them at $40 or less, because now, on average, even junk stuff that's 1 ounce in there, you're going to probably pay $50 a piece for them. But just, I would stay away from it. If you're new to stacking, I wouldn't get involved. And if you've been stacking for a while, you should already have a pretty good understanding on what you should be going for, or have a good feel, because you've obviously been watching a lot of these videos, and if you've been watching the videos, you've picked up a thing or two over time. I think it's important, in my personal opinion, if I was new to stacking today, the sweet spot that I would try to target would be 1 ounce rounds. I would look for opportunities, look for deals. Obviously, the buffalo round, because it's so common, it's got the buffalo on one side, the Indian on one side. That's usually the cheapest coin. However, if you shop around, you can find good deals. There's also a thing out there. It's usually called our choice, or cull. It means that you're just going to get whatever you get. You don't know what you're going to get. They could give you some really cool ounce of silver, maybe a pimp silver round, maybe a buffalo round, maybe I've even seen actual silver eagles come out in it, and no one's going to complain. But you just never really know what you're going to get. I'll click on this so you can see a few different designs. You got silver round here, you got silver round. That might be an eagle, but actually, I don't know. It looks a little off, so I'm thinking it could be an eagle round. In some cases, you will find the word copy on some of these. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's not silver. It's something that I actually met somebody one day. He had a whole tube of 1 ounce silver coins that all said copy on them, and he didn't want them. And he was even willing to sell them way under spot because of what it said. Now, I had a Sigma at that point. I said, I'm telling you right now, that's a bad sign, copy. And he goes, I know, but who I bought it from is reputable. I know they're not copies. And I said, okay, I'm just letting you know, if you drive over here and I purchase them from you, if they say copy on there, I will test them, and I don't want them if they don't come up legit. So keep your eyes open for that. Anytime you see copy on something, it does not necessarily mean that it's not made out of silver. It just means that some companies have made rare coins in the form of a 1 ounce silver round. It's a replica of, say, a rare, I don't know, whatever. I don't know what a hot coin is, because I'm not technically a coin collector. I am a stacker. I invest in precious metals because it's a commodity. I think commodities are about ready to be in a huge bull run. I think they're going to go a whole lot higher as time goes on. And I mean, the designs are cool. Do I pick up some cool designs? Oh, absolutely. I mean, I love koalas, even though I don't have a ton of them. I love Britannias. I got a bunch of them. I'm not a big fan of the Philharmonics, but I do have a good amount of them. Maple leafs are kind of cool, only because I like that they change the picture of the queen every year, even though now it's the king. Silver Eagles, I'm not a big fan on, because it is one of the higher demand coins, and they charge a heftier premium on that. The Krugerrand, I've got a few. I've got a couple. I don't have a lot of Krugerrands at all. This just happens to be a Wolverine silver round. These are pretty cool. This probably comes from, I wish I could think of the name of the island right now, but I can't. They usually do a lot of sponsorship deals with like Star Wars and the Avengers and the Simpsons and all that stuff. I've got a fair amount of these. I really like the Simpsons ones. I like different ones, but getting them is usually going to be a hefty premium, so you really need to watch out for that. Again, if you're new to stacking, you want to get that premium as low as possible. Our choice is usually going to be the cheapest. 1 ounce, our choice. You get what you get. You don't get to pick it. You don't know. The condition ain't going to be perfect, but at the end of the day, you've got silver in your possession. And I think that's going to be really important as silver continues to go up, and where I think silver will go. I mean, I do think silver is going to go a whole lot higher as time goes on. And so people that have it in their possession are going to do really well. Do I think you're going to be able to buy an ounce of silver and retire in a year? No, I don't think that. I hear people say, I heard someone say, retire with 1 kilo of silver. That's all it's going to take to retire you. The price is not going to do that. These I really like, these legendary warriors from Silvertown. If you can find them at a good price, I do like these. I have a bunch of each one. They're into 9 coins now. This right here would be a great picture of what they would call our choice. You see how they're tarnished? They don't look as pretty. You know, you see it's kind of beat up here, or it's tarnished over here. But you get a lot of cool designs. You got some milk spots on this one. But like I said, you get some really cool designs. And if you're new to stacking, hey, and I'll be honest, I know a lot of people will not like to hear this, but if I get a coin that looks like this, it's ruined. I will have it cleaned. I will dip it in some kind of solution, get it cleaned, and try to shine it back up to where it looks a little nicer than this, and then I have something that looks cool at closer to spot price, and then see what I can do from it from there. Usually when I do a lot of my little trade groups and stuff, I have this type of junk. I mean, I remember at one point I had over 100 ounces of beat up junk that looked like this stuff, and I couldn't really do much with it. I couldn't even get rid of it at spot price. Some people don't like it, but once you learn that you can clean it, there are ways to clean these. I'm not going to sit there with a Brillo pad and scratch it up. I know some people will say you should never clean a coin. Okay, I mean, I'm not going to sit and argue with them people. If it's a bullion coin, they've made billions of them. I don't think it's going to have a huge... It's not... Some of these ain't even coins. They're rounds, you know, like a buffalo round or whatever. The difference is if you get a buffalo round that's filthy with, I don't want to say milk spots, but heavy tarnishing, and then you get a buffalo round that's shiny, you will easily get an extra $1 or $2 for the shiny one, whereas you won't for the tarnished one. So that's one of the big things that I look at. Checking the time real quick. Okay, so we're at 25 minutes. I think that was a good lesson overall on different aspects of silver. Things to kind of look for. Like I said in the beginning, I probably wouldn't get into any one specific company. Shop around. There's a lot of companies out there. There's a lot of companies out there that give good deals on precious metals. I don't even entirely knock eBay. I know some people right here, I talk to people and they're like, I would never buy from eBay. I've dealt with some, I mean, big companies. AppMax has an eBay store. JM Bullion has an eBay store. A lot of big companies do have eBay stores. However, you need to be real mindful. eBay does have a lot of scams on it. That's why now they're trying to come up with some way to beat the scammers. But, I mean, you can fight it out with your credit card in a lot of cases. Now, I'm not suggesting buy from eBay. I'm not saying don't buy from eBay. I'm not telling anybody specifically where to buy. I'm telling you, shop around. There will always be a better deal. And companies, I mean, even me, a stacker, when I had 100+ ounces of this junk that I picked up from someone that needed money, and I didn't really want them, but the guy needed money, and I didn't want to see him get burned at a pawn shop or something. I said, you know what, I'll give them to you at spot, and I'll get rid of them to somebody else at spot. And I picked out a couple that I liked and kept them, and the rest of the junk, I mean, me getting rid of them at spot didn't matter to me. Would I do that again today? Probably not, with the demands that is building up on silver. I think silver is about ready to have a huge move up, like another leg up. We have been in a little bit of a beat down for a while. We're starting to climb out of that, and I think once we hit that $35 level, I think we'll see another jump that will probably take us up to the low 40s, only to see a little bit of a pullback to, you know, 38, close out the year around $38, with a high for the year of around $40 or slightly over $40. So we'll see what happens. I thank everybody for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you hit the thumbs up button. It's a little bit of a different video than we usually do, but I recommend you check out all of our other great videos. We post videos every day on a lot of different topics. Plus, I've been doing short videos, like 1-minute videos, 15-second videos in the evening with just key points, one sentence, you know, just to give you the gist of what's going on. And I've been stacking for a while, so I've been doing YouTube videos for a while with over 3,500 videos up. We've done everything from barbecue to package openings. For a while, I was buying a ton of stuff from Universal Coin and Bullion, prepping videos, farming videos, farm innovators videos, cooking videos, a lot of great stuff, and a lot of great short videos. So definitely take a few minutes, click on the main page. Once you get to the main page, you can come over to shorts and really just kind of comb through them and really get a power understanding of what's going on as you comb through them. There might be a couple funny ones in there where it didn't really have anything to do with anything, but I mean, you know, it's, people get the gist. So definitely worth checking out. With that being said, thank you all for watching, and I hope you all have a great day. Take care, everybody, and have a good one. Bye-bye.